Okay, so we saw the code running. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go through each line to explain what I did. So again, this is the main. This is Tic Tac Toe, and I'm actually just going to close out of this so then it won't confuse you guys or confuse myself. So I went ahead and created the main of like everything else, and then it starts to run the code. So I decided to go ahead and create a string player, and then of course there's nothing in here. That's the way I did it. You could put null if you wanted to, in either way, and then the player name because I wanted to display whether it's player 1 or player 2. That's how I was able to show and display, oh yeah, player 2, it's your turn to pick a move. Go ahead and pick a move. And then, of course, created my integers, position, count, 1, booleans, and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and create a, let's create an object. Of course, as we learn here. So my class is Tic Tac Toe, and so I decided to call my object game. And like anything like we've done like with scanners and everything else here, like it's like a keyboard. I wanted to call my game. I mean, you could call it, you know, beautiful board or this sucks game or child game, whatever you wanted to call it. I just wanted to call it nice and simple. And then I went ahead and called the game board setup. So let's go ahead and look at that function here at the or method, whatever you want to call it. I think they're both the same. Anyways, so game setup. Let's see. I know. Look at all this code. It's so beautiful. Okay. Game setup. Where is it? Oh, board setup. Excuse me. Board setup. Here you go. So the board setup is pretty much just creating the board from scratch. So we're pretty much creating the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So this is where we actually, or I actually created the 2D array, I believe, and then I believe the first time you run the the board setup, as you can see here, the setup for the string, is going to be the row. So I'm pretty much here creating the row, and then the next loop is creating the column based on the board game length, and it's going to be 3 because I think that's what I entered here. I'll find it. Don't worry, guys. So the board length, and then it's going to be board game. So it's going to be row, column. You know, it's probably easier if I explain this in person, but over here I pretty much created the board. And what I did here is we know that in order for us to have arrays, they have to be the same type. And here we see that an integer, and then how am I going to? So my question was, how am I going to replace an x with an integer one? You know, with 1 being an integer. So imagine if I had to pick a position. I had to pick 1. Like I want to be, or 5, which is the middle position. Everyone wants the middle, right? And so how am I going to switch that with an x? Well, over here, I had to make them into a string. And so when I was thinking, like, okay, I have to make this number a string. So integer dot toString and count. And the count is where it's going to go up to I believe 9, which is the board game length. But yes, so it was. So I made this into an integer and I placed it into the first row and the first column. And it's going to be 1, and then it counts, and then count goes over here. It turns into a 2, and so we're still in this loop. We're still in row 1, and now we're in column 2. So it's going to be 0, 1, right? Because the first column is going to be, or the first number is 0, and then we want to make it into a string and put it into row 1, or row 0 if you want to call it, row 0, column 1. I know it's the zeros, like because we're not starting from 1. It's kind of confusing. So, but yeah, this is the board setup. and I'm pretty much just putting all the pieces there. Now let's go to, how long was this video? Because I don't want to confuse. I know it's already confusing, especially when I had to do it. Let's see, how long is this video already? 5 minutes, yes. So that was the board setup. I haven't even displayed it to you guys yet. So I'm going to display it now.